I am going to share with you the hair serums that work. The ones that will help to regrow your hair, will help your hair to grow longer, and will help your hair density. I also have one in particular that I think is really wonderful for men for actually reversing and helping with androgenic alopecia. So I want to get right into it. I do want to point out that I have a corresponding blog because in the last several months, I have been testing out a number of hair serums, some of them with lackluster results, some of them I think improved the condition of my hair, some of them actually helped to boost the hair growth and the hair density. So in the video, I'm going to talk about the ones that actually worked for hair growth and hair density, and I'm also going to talk to you men about a company that I think you should really look into. I have no affiliation with, but I think that their combination of ingredients are what men in particular are looking for, and the results seem to be incredible, and the science backs it up. Okay, so let's get into what can actually help with the density of your hair and also help with the growth of your hair. So help your hair to grow longer and grow faster. So there are three things that definitely have science behind them, like lots of science behind them. Number one is going to be something we're all familiar with, and that is, of course, minoxidil. Now, I took a bunch of notes because I want to make sure that I say this correctly, but this is straight from a PubMed article. I'm going to read it directly. Minoxidil is a potassium channel opener, causing hyperpolarization of cell membranes, and it also is a vasodilator. It is speculated that by widening blood vessels and opening potassium channels, it allows more oxygen, blood, and nutrients to the follicle. There are other theories on why minoxidil works, but that's minoxidil. We know the minoxidil works. There are so many studies. Now, recently I told you that I stopped using minoxidil. You can get minoxidil 2% or 5% generic. You can get it at Costco. It is not inexpensive, and if it is something that works for you, it's a great way to go. It also can help to grow your eyebrows if you would like to do that. There are caveats with minoxidil that you need to understand. You need to look at the contraindications. You need to check if you are in childbearing years. Should you be using the 5% minoxidil if you're a woman? Stuff like that. So you have to do your due diligence to make sure that you're a good candidate. But minoxidil is definitely an option for both men and for women. Now, I started searching, well, before I stopped the minoxidil, I was already on the hunt for other things that actually would work because I wasn't loving the application process and the way the minoxidil was making my hair feel. So that led me back to something that I already knew worked, but I wanted to verify it with science, and that is prostaglandins. Now, we've talked about prostaglandins on this channel when it comes to our eyelashes and when it comes to our eyebrows. Now, for me, I quit using prostaglandins on my eyelashes because I read a bunch about the orbital fat loss, also about, the discoloration all around the eyes, and I just decided that I was going to stop using any kind of prostaglandin analog around my eyes, and I switched back to the Reviv lash serum. I love it, no irritation. I can absolutely tell that my lashes are, you might not be able to tell, but that my lashes are growing, and the way I can really tell that they're growing is because mine start to really curl when they grow, and so I know that my lashes are really growing without using a prostaglandin. So that is great. I have been using the Obagi brow serum on my eyebrows, and that does contain a prostaglandin, but I'm okay with that because it's not really near my eye. It's not going to get in behind my eyeball and affect that orbital area right here. So I'm cool with that. Many years ago, I did a video on prostaglandin use for the scalp, and back then I was using the Revitalash Foam. Now, it worked. It 100% worked. The problem with the Revitalash Foam was that it was too expensive. It is $150 for this little bottle of foam. And of course, occasionally they go on sale and you can get discounts and stuff like that. So it makes it a little bit less expensive. but it still is too expensive because you have to use it daily for at least 12 weeks, maybe even 16. Then you start to see remarkable hair growth. I mean, the hair starts to just like grow like a weed and it does get thicker. Then you can back off to like every other day. But even doing that, I found that I was going through this bottle really, really fast. And so I kind of decided at that time, never mind, my hair had grown a bunch. I decided I was just going to stop using it because it was too expensive. In fact, my very last bottle of this, I ended up sending to my friend Mary Ellen, who is here on YouTube. Her channel is Mary Ellen over 60. I adore her, and I knew that she was using this, and she was using it like in her temple area. And I thought, well, I'm going to send her my last bottle. I'm quitting anyway. This will be something she uses just in that area, and she will make it last longer, and it'll be good for her. Okay, so that was a few years ago. Now, I have re-entered a situation where I really feel relatively desperate to get my hair to start growing again, get it grown out, get rid of the broken parts and all of that stuff. So I reordered this knowing that a prostaglandin absolutely will help with the density of my hair and also with the length and helping it grow faster and just in better shape. It really does help. So that got me really searching for two things. Number one, the science behind it. I wanted to know if there was science to back up the claim that I make that prostaglandins on the scalp actually do help the hair to grow thicker and to grow longer and to grow faster. And of course, I found studies that definitely show that prostaglandins analogs do indeed work on the scalp. Not surprising. That still doesn't help with the cost factor. It's still too expensive, and desperate or not, it's still a lot of money. So I'm searching because I'm thinking, if there's this much science, how come there's nobody else out there making a hair serum with prostaglandins? Like, I honestly don't understand why they're the only ones. Lo and behold, GrandeHair makes a serum that has a prostaglandin analog in it as well. This actually used to come in a slightly different package, and in fact, I think they're transitioning, so some of the stuff will still come in the old packaging. This is the brand new packaging. So this has a prostaglandin analog in it as well. This also has castor oil in it and a bunch of other ingredients that are going to be really, really good for scalp health and for helping to grow the hair thicker and longer. And it is about half the cost of the Revitalash. So it's also bigger. So this is 1.35 ounces and this one is 1 ounce. And this one is about half the amount of money as this one. So that's all good. Now, the thing about this is, unfortunately, because it does have castor oil in it, it's a lightweight. It's not like a real thick castor oil, but because it does have that castor oil in it, I find that this does leave my hair ever so slightly gummy. Nowhere near what Minoxidil did, but it's ever so slightly gummy. Like after 2 nights of using this, I have to wash my hair. But I can get away with at least 1 night of using it without having to wash my hair the next day, which really wasn't the case for Minoxidil. I was trying to do that, but I just felt gross. Now, what I have been doing in order to get my prostaglandin on my scalp every single night and to not have to wash my hair a lot is that I'm using this 1 night and then I'm using this the next 2, and I rotate that. And so that way I'm really using this 1 out of 3 nights, because when I use this at night, it's a foam and my hair can look wet after I use this before I go to bed, and I wake up and my hair doesn't look like there's anything in it at all. Like, I can definitely get away with using this night after night and it doesn't feel like there's residue in my hair. I suppose maybe if I did like 4 nights in a row, I might feel kind of like there's stuff in my hair. But overall, this really is the superior formula. This is the superior texture. I love this application method. I just don't like the price. So that is how I'm getting around this and getting that prostaglandin in. Now for me, I am using the prostaglandin now really right here. And the reason for that is I've been testing all of these other serums for several months on the sides, because I know that I can gauge how fast my hair is growing and the density in this area because I haven't colored my hair in many months, as you can see. And so I'm able to kind of judge the grow out and see how fast it is actually growing. And I can tell that it is definitely growing faster. I've been using this for a while now and it's working. Okay, so prostaglandins. We're going to talk a little bit about the science, but I want to share with you the product or the company that I definitely am encouraging, especially you men, to look into. It's called Happy Head. Now, I went in, and the reason I found this is because I saw that they use prostaglandins. Well, turns out that they use prostaglandins and then they also have minoxidil. They can put the prostaglandins and the minoxidil together. They also have finasteride. I think I'm mispronouncing that. Now that's an ingredient that's really interesting, and as a woman, especially with a daughter in my house, I'm not particularly keen on that ingredient, and there's contraindications, etc. The other thing that they're able to custom cocktail, is retinoic acid. Now there are studies that show that retinoic acid actually also helps to stimulate hair growth and hair thickness. In fact, let me share with you just a couple of these that I took notes because I just found this all so fascinating, you guys. So first of all, minoxidil versus the prostaglandin. This says minoxidil seems to act by stimulating hair follicles, particularly those dormant, which is really cool, prolonging the anagen phase, so the growth phase, whereas latanoprost, which is a prostaglandin, seems to act by stimulating the anagen phase, so the growth phase, increasing the conversion of vellus hair. So hairs sometimes that have miniaturized, etc., when people are getting older, or if you're balding, or you're going through some kind of an alopecia situation. So the latanoprost, or a prostaglandin, seems to act by stimulating the anagen phase, the growth phase, and by increasing the conversion of the vellus hairs into terminal hairs. So those shrinking, miniaturized hairs back into terminal hairs that are able to grow long. But also what that's going to do is increase the thickness. So the hairs that are already terminal, long, and can grow really long, are going to grow longer. And all the little hairs that are around them that were just never able to get out and become a long hair will be able to do that. That will increase your density, and that will also increase the thickness. Okay, so that's prostaglandin, and that is prostaglandin versus the minoxidil. So you can imagine what it would be like to get prostaglandin and minoxidil in one product. I bought this. I know I'm not going to use it. I'm not a fan of minoxidil. It's not for me, but I wanted to be able to show you this and let you know about it because I actually think that this is super exciting, especially for those of you men who have serious hair loss and can put on a minoxidil / whatever other ingredients your doctor prescribes in this, because you go through a doctor online with this, and then you could apply it to that area. The before and afters on their website for men are insane. I mean, for women too, but I really think this could be something great for men because it combines that prostaglandin, it combines the minoxidil, you can get the finasteride in there, you can also get the retinoic acid. Now, retinoic acid is interesting. Here's another study that I wanted to read to you. So this study, again, all of this will be linked over on my blog. Tretinoin was shown to stimulate some hair growth in approximately 58% of the subjects studied. One female subject with pronounced alopecia for more than 20 years had regrowth of hair using only tretinoin for a period of 18 months. So this company actually uses retinoic acid as a component of their hair serums. Again, no affiliate, no nothing. Nobody's paying me for this, and I have no affiliate relationship with them whatsoever. Honestly, that is in, where are we right now? In March of 2024. If I ever was able to affiliate myself with them, I would, because I think that this is revolutionary, that they have, obviously they've studied all of these things that have science behind them. and they're able to cocktail them for people to get really the maximum results. And that is also why it is by prescription. You have to, virtually meet with a doctor. But I'm telling you, I went through the process just so that I could tell you about it, and it was really easy. It was like a questionnaire, and it was just really, really easy. So that is Happy Head, and especially for you guys, I feel like that could be really just game changer for men, especially if you are 30, 35 years old and you're starting to go. This could really be something. In fact, I think I'm going to send this to my nephew, who is 25, and he has been complaining about his hair thinning. This could be something that's really great for him to regrow some of his hair, and he's able to put it on his scalp, and he's not as worried about a little bit of product in his hair as I am, because he puts product in his hair anyway, and so he could use this daily without feeling like it's gunky, because he kind of puts gunky stuff in his hair anyway. So anyway, that is Happy Head. So the point of all of this is I want you to know that minoxidil is a good one. Prostaglandins are definitely a good one, and I wanted you to know that yes, this one by Revitalash is awesome. It is great, but it is too expensive. So we have another option now, and that is GrandeHair. And like I said, it's a little bit bigger and it's about half the price. It is a little tiny bit goopier. It's not anywhere near actual castor oil, and it's not anywhere near actual minoxidil. It doesn't have any minoxidil in here, but you can see it's not like real thick. It's actually relatively thin, but this is like water. I mean, this literally, once my hair dries overnight, because it gets right into the root of my hair, it's like it's not even there. It's so easy to be compliant with this one. So like I said, my initial investment, because I had to spend the money on this and I had to spend the money on this, but now I'm using this 1 out of 3 days. So I feel like I'm going to stretch this for a long time. It's going to help me with my hair wash situation. And I know I'm getting that prostaglandin on my scalp every single night. And that's going to help with the density and also with the growth of my hair. The other thing that I'm definitely doing is I am doing the scalp massage with that little $6 tool. It's a simple way that is super inexpensive, and all it takes is a little bit of effort by each of us for maybe a minute a night or a morning. And there are studies that show that increased blood flow to the scalp does indeed obviously bring oxygen and nutrients, etc., to the hair, and so it helps the hair to grow. And the converse is true. So as our hair follicles shrink with age and they just start to miniaturize, they require less blood flow, and so less blood flow comes to the scalp. And so it's this vicious cycle of less blood flow to the scalp is less oxygen and nutrients. So that little miniaturized hair is getting fed less. It's requiring less. So this cycle happens. So we have to encourage that blood flow to the scalp so that it just floods the follicles so that they stay a little bit more robust. So they require more blood, so more blood comes. So we want to reverse the cycle so it goes the other way. And it is as simple, I mean, it's not the end all be all, but it is as simple as a little bit of scalp massage daily with a super inexpensive tool. On the other hand, if you don't even want to buy that little $6 tool, use your fingers and massage your scalp every day. That will help you, and it is free. It just takes a little bit of effort. Okay, I am going to, once again, I'm going to link all of these studies over on the blog. I think I'm going to put them all over on the blog because I think they'll fill up too much of the description box, but I will link the blog in the description box. And then I'm going to do all of these other serums, like I said, and I'm going to give you the lowdown on every single one and how they worked for me, didn't work for me, what the pros, what the cons, what the claims are, all of that stuff. I will say, as a rule, I feel like a lot of these hair serums that contain a lot of nutrients, stem cells, all of the fanciness, I don't know that any of those are necessarily going to stimulate growth and increase density. They may be more along the lines of improving the health of your hair, which may help with less hair fall. And that's important too, but that is a different thing than actually increasing density and increasing the growth. Those are two very different things. If your issue is hair fall, you're losing too much hair, then some of these other serums might be really, really great for you. And that will all be over on the blog. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful and you learned something new today. I am going to link that blog and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.